One of the most moving experiences that I've had in my career was a meeting in Berlin in May of 2022, just the day before our annual negotiations with Germany for claims conference, where I met with 8 Ukrainian Holocaust survivors who escaped Russia's war against Ukraine from the Donbass area via a 40-hour trip in what we called an ambulance convoy organized by the Claims Conference and the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee. They told us how well they were accepted by the German people and the German government. It occurred to me what a historic irony, because these elderly people as youth escaped Nazi persecution by fleeing to the very Russia that was now oppressing them. And where did they obtain sanctuary? In Germany, which had been the epicenter of the Holocaust. Now we're shaken to our core with heavy hearts from the October 7, 2023 Hamas terrorist attack against innocent Israelis with a brutality, abject cruelty, and depravity, burning people alive, torturing them, kidnapping elderly, babies, and women. There are inescapable resonances of the Holocaust. 1,400 Jews killed, the greatest loss of Jewish lives since the Holocaust, the equivalent of over 40,000 in one day in the United States. And these included a 92-year-old Holocaust survivor murdered in Kibbutz Holid, another survivor who lost his entire family in the Shoah, saw his own children and grandchildren kidnapped. Imagine the fears of the 120,000 survivors in Israel today. This happened, after all, in the state of Israel, the place where Jews were supposed to be safe, where never again resounds, and yet it did happen again. The sympathy of the world for Israel changed almost overnight when Israel began its military response with an eruption of unprecedented anti-Semitism, sometimes violent, on college campuses, city streets in the US and Europe, and on the internet. The Jewish communities in Europe are fearful. I met this very day, today, 2 hours ago, with a leading French businessman who happens to be Jewish, and he said, I am fearful for the first time in my professional life. Stars of David placed on buildings, bomb threats to Jewish stores, and demonstrations calling for Israel's destruction. As chairman of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum Council, I stated recently that we need to learn the lessons of the Holocaust, the dangers of unchecked anti-Semitism, the power of propaganda, and the potential for coordinated group-targeted violence. Germany's leaders too have spoken out forcefully against anti-Semitism, have supported the German Jewish community, have taken action to ban Hamas-linked groups. And as Ambassador Michaelis said, if you want to listen on YouTube to something really moving, you must see and watch Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck's remarkable talk. So thank you very much to your own leadership. At the same time, we shouldn't despair that there's been no progress since Kristallnacht. The State of Israel is a vibrant democracy with a dynamic economy and a strong army. In many countries, including Germany, Jewish communities decimated in the Holocaust are thriving again. European countries are providing protection to Jewish institutions. In our own country, support for Israel is strong and bipartisan. The Jewish community from left to right is energized to support Israel's right to self-defense in accordance with international humanitarian law. And let me share, however, an anecdote. When I was ambassador of the European Union in the Clinton administration, my late wife and I visited the then 12, later 15 countries before we left, who were members of the EU. And we could always identify in each of the EU member states where the Jewish institutions were because they were protected by police, heavily armed, often with concrete barriers. And we said to ourselves, thank God we don't have to worry about that in the United States. Well, I want to tell you right now, there's not a synagogue in this country on a Shabbat service that doesn't have police protection. There's not a Jewish day school or a Jewish community center that doesn't have police protection. And yet, since 2005, the UN General Assembly has initiated an annual Holocaust Remembrance Day, and virtually every European country, and most recently a few Arab countries, have done so. There's now a 35-nation International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. Ellen participates in that to promote Holocaust education, critically important as eyewitnesses pass away. We stand here as part of the arc of Jewish history, and in that history, Germany stands tall. Ambassador Michaelis' embassy flies the Israeli flag next to its own in solidarity.